Hello, chocolate muffins. Cleo of Game Surfer Fight here, and I'm so happy to be home from my long day at work because I have the best video idea ever. Are you prepared? It is how to not be popular on YouTube. Now, all of the advice that I'm about to unload upon you comes from a place of love. It is all tidbits that I have gathered over my years upon YouTube, and if you too seek to avoid the many problems that come with famousness, then all you have to do is follow these helpful tips, and it will never happen for you. I promise. To begin with, tip number 1. Make sure you begin your YouTube career with the full intention of becoming YouTube famous, and make sure that you let everybody know at every possible moment that that is your end goal. After all, nothing hurts your chances of stardom more than letting people know that that's actually what you want to have happen. You might notice that all the channels that are big now love to say that, oh, it just happened by accident. I totally wasn't planning to be famous. That cinnamon challenge was just a fluke. Whereas the ones that never say, hey, I want to become YouTube famous, never get to that point. I wonder why. Bonus points if you let the few people that do follow you know what a pain in the ass it is to make new videos, and make sure they realize how lucky they are that you even try. Number 2, make sure to use the crappiest equipment you can find. If it's $2 at a Goodwill, perfectly good. If it costs hundreds of dollars, you're wasting money, why bother? After all, if the worst happens and you do somehow end up famous, you can always buy new equipment then. Number 3, and this is a very important one, make sure that your channel name uses as many hard-to-remember numbers and symbols as the YouTube system will let you. After all, people can't share a channel if they can't remember how to spell it. No, there is a slight chance you might get famous anyway if you actually get enough traction that autocomplete starts filling you in on the search results, but the chances of that are pretty small. Having a name like 1D4 $1297,666 is a surefire way to keep your growing fame in check. There's hair in my face. Number 4. Burn yourself out as quickly as possible making videos. Make sure that you stamp out any joy you ever had simply making videos. Treat it as a job that doesn't pay you rather than as a hobby that you do for fun. And again, don't let your subs ever forget how much work it is, and make sure that they realize that it is a gift to them that you even turn the camera on. Tip number 5. Constantly bombard your favorite big-name celebrities with collaboration requests, and make sure to keep those requests as vague as possible. Rather than come at them with a solid plan of how you want to involve them, keep it as open-ended as possible, and leave the onus of developing a plan entirely on their plate. Bonus points if you also bombard them with requests to follow you on Twitter and other social media websites, and beg for followbacks from their other fans. Also, make sure to get extremely butthurt if they don't reply to you. It's not that they're too busy, it's that they don't like you. They're deliberately ignoring your message, so make sure the world knows your anger. Tip number 6. Make sure to be as douchebaggy as possible to anyone who isn't already famous, especially people that come to you asking for a collaboration. After all, if they're not already famous, then they're completely useless to you. In fact, they're competition. Best to stifle them before they become yet another famous person to completely and deliberately ignore your heartfelt requests. Tip number 7. Be as toneless and boring in your videos as possible, without being too boring. You're not trying to be a caricature after all. You just want your videos to be just boring enough that nobody wants to watch them, not pass through to the other side of absurdity where your Ben Steinish lack of emotion actually makes them laugh. Number 8. In the same vein, put as little effort as possible into how you look. If you're a girl, wear turtlenecks, bottleneck glasses, and let your hair go unwashed for weeks on end. If you're a guy, show lots of body hair and let your pimples shine. After all, if you're nice to look at, you're going to amass fangirls, and that's the last thing any hipster tuber wants. Number 9. Make sure your videos are as long as possible. There's no 11-minute cap anymore, so the sky's the limit. You want a 2-hour review of what it feels like to stand in line at a theme park? Go for it! No one will ever watch it. Number 10. Take all hater comments really seriously, and make sure to reply with as much hatred as they've shown you. After all, don't they always say, fight fire with fire? In fact, make a video where you read out hater comments and tell everyone how much you don't care. Call haters out by name and respond to every insult, no matter how generic. A flame war in the YouTube comments is the gift that keeps on giving. Tip number 11, just one away from the end. Go on all the social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, 4chan, and tell everyone there to go look at your stuff. Don't spend months, if not years, building up a fake account to link organically to your stuff like everybody else does. Just go ahead and post right away that it's your content. As the good Anons of 4chan have taught us, OP is a faggot, meaning that if the original poster has the audacity to point to their own stuff, clearly it must be terrible. And while you're at it, make sure you downvote and report for spam any links to content that's not yours. After all, if it's not part of your channel, it's clearly in competition. And finally, tip number 12. Make sure that your videos are about content that you have absolutely no interest in. Make sure you only cover topics that are trending and therefore overexposed, but completely removed from your spheres of interest. Do you hate celebrities? Why not cover what the Kardashians wore to the red carpet? Do you hate video games? Then you are the perfect candidate to review the latest Call of Duty game. Speaking of games, if you're aiming to be a Let's Player, then good news! There's already so many Let's Players out there that the chances of your channel getting found are pretty infinitesimal. But if you're still worried that someone might discover your channel, then only play the most overexposed games, the ones you can't punt a dead cat without finding at least 10 other channels already covering it. If you need a quick indicator if a game's already been exposed, then just see if the top YouTubers like Toby Games and PewDiePie have already covered it. If they have, then full speed ahead. There's no way in hell that anyone's ever gonna watch your videos. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully these tips will help you avoid fame at all costs. If you have some tips to share with everyone to help them stay away from the extremely burdensome state of being famous on YouTube, please let us know in the comments. And if worse comes to worse and you still can't seem to curb your incumbent rise to stardom, then don't forget, you can always delete your channel. Good luck, fellow hipsters. Cleo out.